Hello everyone, welcome to another video where today we review the new commander who's about to be released into the game in about a month or so. It's William Wallace, the Guardian of Scotland. New talent trees, new lots of things, and more importantly, perhaps most importantly, he is Scottish, so we shall of course be doing the entire video in Scottish. Hey? Hey, the first thing, we got a new talent tree, Smite. Actually, no, that's not going to work. I'll do a Dundee, a soft Scottish accent. We can all understand that better, and we still have a lovely time. But 8 then. So we've got 4 new big talents highlighted on the tree, to the better end. 3 points in that. You can read it on the You can read it on the screen, can you? It's basically stuff that will help Smite stuff. Obviously, it's called Smite, so weirdly enough, he's going to be a new Smite commander. The other ones, what's that, attack, versatility? I don't know. I'm too excited about doing Scottish accents. So there is his new talent tree. So one imagines straight away he's probably going to be a primary commander, probably to Liu Che, which will become more apparent as we go on. Here we go. So the commander skills, the active skill is called Bas Agus Blade. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments, but, you know, Scottish people lost to Hungary, so... Whereas us English, we drew 0-0 with Slovenia. It doesn't matter. Away from the football. I'm German for the purpose of this. So, the active skill costs 1,000 rage, which is a fair amount. Deals smite damage. So we all know smite damage at the moment is active skill damage that doesn't require skill. Obviously works well with Liu Che. Deals smite damage to a target troop, then deals extra smite damage to up to 3 enemy troops currently attacking this commander's troop. So obviously it's good against being surrounded. 2400 damage factor, which stacks up really, really well with most other commanders. In fact, let me just get this back down here. We're going to compare him to Scipio at the end. Obviously he's going to go with Liu Che. Let's see how well he goes with Liu Che. So, in fact, let's do that now. So Scipio's active damage is 2,000. Liu Che's is 2,250. So theoretically, well, not theoretically, he is a very big upgrade on direct damage for infantry commanders. Let's see what else he's got going on. Scots way. Sounds like some sort of tribal battle cry. When this troop... Let me just move this as well. We don't want to hide my beautiful face, do we? There we go. While this commander's troop is on the map, so field fighting, infantry troops in their infantry units get 10% health, 30% attack, and 20% march speed. I'm going to compare again with Scipio, as the obvious thing is to pair him with, to pair the new guy, William Wallace, with Liu Che. So let's see how much of an upgrade this actually is. Scipio gives you 40% attack bonus, 15% march speed bonus, and 10% when outside of Alliance territory. So it's effectively a 25% march speed bonus most of the time. So it's slightly more than our Scots Wehe, and slightly more attack as well, but the 10% health is pretty huge here. Of course, Scipio gives 20% health here as well. So I guess the stat bonuses across the two are not quite as big as old Skips is at the moment, but we have more skills at some point. Here we go. Lion of the North. The commander's troops takes 10% less normal damage, so normal attack damage, whenever this commander's troop deals smite damage with a damage factor greater than 1,000, so every time it uses its active skill. 80% chance that the damage will be increased by 40%. Wow, that's pretty huge. So effectively, that includes smite damage dealt by normal attacks and counterattacks. Well, I don't know how often that's going to trigger, but if we go back to the first one, so 80% damage is pretty insane. Hey, it's not bad, eh? It's not bad at all. So 80% of 2,400 is about 1,800. 1,800 and something, in fact. I have a trusty calculator for these very reasons. 1,920. So effectively, if I'm reading this right, when he deals his active skill, it's not just 24, well, 20% of the time it's going to be 2,400, but 80% of the time, and again, correct me if I'm wrong here, it's going to be 4,000 320, which seems mad. That seems ridiculous. Of course, it's got a cooldown, but okay, so it's not 80% of the time. That's mad. That's a huge amount of damage. At the moment, Huo is the best single target damage output commander. No, I don't have him on this card, do I? I believe he does 2,700. Yeah, Huo does 2,700 direct damage factor. So this guy's going to often put out 4,300. A pretty mad little thing. Anyway, Battle of Stirling Bridge. When attacking a troop on the map, the commander's troop deals 10% more Smite damage, 10% more normal damage. So I've gone into Pakistani there, I think. So again, we go back to the active skill. The active skill gets another 10% now, take it to almost 5,000. I was joking that the new infantry commander is going to be dealing 6,500 active skill. It's not far off, is it? I mean, Belisarius is in tatters here. Look what he got. And look what Mr. William of Wallace has got as well. 10% more normal damage as well. So it's a nice little bonus. This looks pretty good. Like, we all looked at Belisarius and thought, maybe not. I don't think we're going to have the same thing here. And here's the expertise. Whenever the commander's troop uses an active skill or is slowed, it dispels all slow effects from up to 3 nearby allied and friendly troops. Kind of not that relevant, let's be honest. I mean, you're not going to be running away with William Wallace much. I suppose from other troops. Then grants them a damage-absorbing Mighty Shield. Damage factor 1,000 for 2 seconds, cooldown 10 seconds. That's pretty nice. So it's not going to be that relevant, but yeah, the 1,000 factor damage shield's pretty good. For comparison, let's go and have a look at the shield you get from other commanders. So from Martel, you get 1,200 for 4 seconds. So obviously it's not as good as that. For Alexander, you get 1,200 and you get some allies for 4 seconds. So it's not as good as the existing shield we have, but this is an expertise bonus skill. It's not ameliorating anything else. So it's all gravy, baby, as they say. Just putting it on the end there. That's a nice little expertise. The slow, I think, is going to be rather irrelevant, but the rest of it, well, I'm going to be honest with you, my friends. This looks rather impressive, right? Everything looks well set. And one thing it's really cemented in my mind is that the new way they're planning to go with the commanders is infantry smite, cavalry sort of surrounding troops and half arc damage, and archers a bit squishy but massive AoE. It seems like that is the way they're going with the new commanders, and this guy certainly delivers on the smite damage front. Alexander, Liu Che, and Tassis. In fact, this changes a lot about infantry commanders, because at the moment, the de facto best combination is Scipio, Liu Che, or if you're running 2 marches, it's Guan, Skippy, and then either Liu Che, Alex, or I don't know if you want to use Guan or Harold or something like that. Well, I suppose Liu Che Gorgo works all right. But this will presumably come in and smash Gorgo out the open field picture. So we'd be probably going Guan, Skippy for the skill damage, and then we'd be going William as primary because of his smite tree, which I can only imagine will be beneficial here, and Liu Che as secondary. I will say that this has a little bit of a conundrum in things when we go to armaments. If I just get rid of this. So this is just a, there we go. So presently, you've kind of got a bit of a dichotomy with whether you want to go for wedge or arch, because wedge is beneficial for most of your marches, whereas arch is so beneficial for Liu Che, who is so far and away the best commander when he's being used properly with the right stuff. But, I mean, on this account, I don't really have much. I've never really opened arch stuff, as you can see. So most people will be opening wedges. For now, I think the world of arch is going to be unlocked a lot more. Yes, we've been using it at the moment, but we have people have been using it. They've been running Liu Che Gorgo, but there's always been the fallback. You can run Scipio Liu Che, as I do, and just use a wedge stuff because Scipio does skill damage. This is going to be an upgrade, but it's going to be difficult for people to get the right arch stuff because at the moment, I mean, let's have a look at this one, for instance. There we go. Perfect example. This is a great arch armament for archers who get no benefit from arch attacks. So are we going to go to a system in the future where we're going to get smite commanders for infantry only, or is it going to be infantry, cavalry, and archers? In which case, it would be better, well, it'd be better long-term people opening the arch armament chests, because at the moment, 2/3 of the stats you get, well, much more than 2/3 actually, if we look at it, what do we get here? So infantry attack good, the rest of them trash. Infantry defense good, the rest of them trash. Infantry health and all damage good, the rest of them trash. So at the moment, you're just looking for infantry stuff on the arch armament. Seems we're going to be going more down that route, which is a bit of a shame because it seems like most of the arch chests you open are going to be wasted. But hey ho, we don't know the future. What we do know is that, of course, this is subject to change, but this looks pretty sick. Thank you to Papa Seth for providing me with these quickly. I know they're publicly available, but Papa Seth from 3470, top guy, has availed me of these screenshots so I can make the video before I go for my clinical trial to stop vaping. So, fingers crossed for me. It's a horrible habit. Wish I could stop. Hence the trial. Anyway, William Wallace looks amazing, I'll be completely honest. The Wallace Luce looks like the de facto pair. You better get your arch armament orders in early, my friends, because I imagine it's not going to be just me who's lacking in the arch armament factor. I would imagine he is better than Skippy when paired with Luce. He's probably better than Skippy overall, but it's far too early to say that. Scipio is still a great commander, and Guan Skippy will still be a really good march once the Guan Museum buff is released. But I think this will change the open field. Well, maybe it won't. The 5 march thing at the moment seems to be 2 cav, and then an archer and infantry, and then depending on what you do, 1 more infantry or 1 more archer march. This will certainly come in and replace this. If you're doing a second archer march, this will certainly come in and be the de facto thing to go for there. I mean, players like me who are all archers can still run 2 archer marches, but I would say Scipio is very much still a part of Rock's future, but I don't think he's now going to be part of the best infantry march. I would imagine it's going to be Mr. Wallace here and Mr. Liuche. Anyway, my friends, let me know what you think of Mr. Wallace here, and don't comment on my Scottish accent. I did look for Scottish things around the house. I found something orange, and that was the closest I could find, but we haven't got much. Anyway, William Wallace looks pretty busted. Belisarius in tatters, like I said. Let's see when he comes out how good he actually performs, and let's see the rally commander who will be released soon, I believe. Till next time, my friends. I don't have a Scottish way of saying goodbye. For Scotland, friends, you may take our lives, but you'll never take our freedom. But you won't get through the next round of the Euros, will you?